Hey there, everybody. Happy Wood Turning Tuesday. So if you're wondering why I'm starting out saying that, um, if some of you aren't yet, I'll have a link in the notes of this video. Every Tuesday, I send out an email to the list with some kind of tip that will hopefully help your wood turning. And as a bonus, you get a coupon code for 10% off your first order of bowl blanks or spindle blanks, any of my wood turning supply. I'm also a walrus oil dealer. So that said, today's lesson, it was something after an in-person lesson last week that I keep trying to drive into any of my students. And it's, basically slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It's, for me, it's kind of a two-part thing. So, if you're new to turning, it's easy to let the energy of the lathe that's spinning at this incredible speed to sort of make you more nervous or create an anxious situation. And for me personally, like, I don't have that problem. I tend to not turn at really high speeds anyhow, but it's like after years and years of 40+ hour weeks of turning, I don't really get nervous turning, even a giant piece. But something that I do every day before I start turning on the lathe is I will do some square breathing, even if it's just for a couple minutes, 2 to 5 minutes of square breathing. So breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and breathe out through your mouth for 4 seconds. You can do it seated, you can do it standing. In the wintertime, I love it because I'll start a fire in the wood stove that heats my shop, and I'll do it in front of the fire. It's super relaxing. Although today it's 40 some degrees out. I actually could use a fire in the shop. That said, when you approach turning with a very clear head, and you're not sort of over gripping the tool, and you're not anxious to sort of force your way through something, I think also reminding yourself that you're doing this most likely because you really enjoy the process. There's something just incredibly satisfying, relaxing about working on the lathe. You kind of disappear from the world. But that said, I think most people, they struggle because they're pushing too hard. They're trying to go too fast. Either the lathe speed, not so much, but like your feed rate and the pressure that you're applying to the piece you're turning. So that is just a quick tip today. I'll show, kind of what I mean on the inside of this small rough out, and just something to keep in mind if you're starting, kind of jumping all over the place here, but when I started, I instantly wanted to turn big, which is a bad idea, and accidents, and I was lucky I didn't get hurt. Sort of once I realized that I had to go smaller, I processed just an absolute ton of smaller blanks to turn as rough outs, but every single piece that I turned was it was an opportunity to get better with tool control. So while I was making them as rough outs and the surface finish really doesn't matter, I was treating them as green to finish pieces. So, and that's basically what I'll do here. This is a small rough out. I'm going to treat that surface finish like it's green to finish and that it really matters. And I'll show you, what I mean by slowing down and by not pushing and not trying to speed up this wonderful, relaxing process. So that said, let's do a little bit of turning. All right, so I'm going to turn the inside of this piece. It's already cored out. I'm just going to do a nice light finishing pass. I tend to not turn at super high speed. So my lathe right now is probably around 600 RPMs. This bowl is, I don't know, maybe 10 by 4 at most. I'm going to use my 45-degree grind. I should be able to go the whole way to the bottom on this. If it was a little deeper, I would have to switch to my 60-degree grind, which I covered in the last several videos. Next week's video, I'm going to cover more on the 45-degree grind. It's actually somewhere between 40 and 45. I just call it a 45. So that said, get the lathe rolling. And all of the pressure, as always, that I'm putting down is going down to this tool rest. I am not putting hardly any pressure into the piece that I'm turning. I'm putting just enough pressure on it that it will basically self-feed. I'm not pushing. I'm presenting the tool to the wood, and then I'm just letting the speed of the wood and the wood itself to remove, basically letting the wood remove itself. You can see I'm barely moving. All right, if you're doing your job well, you'll get these nice, light, cleanly cut shavings. Finish isn't perfect here. I'm admittedly a little jittery today, which I always, I tend to have a little bit more anxiety in the mornings, which is generally why I try to shoot these videos in the afternoon. Even after a 15-mile bike ride, I'm still just a little eh. But, that said, let me do one more pass here at the rim, and then I'll give you a close-up. All right, we'll do one more little pass here, and then I'll give you a real close-up, show you the finish off of the gouge. Hopefully there will be no tear-outs and little, if any, tool marks. Not too bad. Yep. Cut very, very clean. Almost no tool marks. Basically no tool marks. That's what you want to see. And these kinds of fine, delicate shavings. And mind you, this is green wood. The fibers are pretty soft. It's a little bit more difficult, in my opinion, to get a super clean cut with green wood, but it is possible. So that said, all right, I hope that helped everybody. And that square breathing technique that I mentioned at the beginning, it isn't great just for this. Like if you're having a bad day, if you're really anxious feeling, if you just don't feel comfortable, find a quiet place and do it. It's something that I picked up about 4 years ago when I kind of had some major struggles mentally, and no matter how bad my day is going, if I take just a few minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, longer if you have it, it's fantastic. It'll help bring you back to your center and help you relax a little bit and move on with your day. If you sign up for the Wood Turning Tip Tuesday newsletter, take a minute and email me back when you get an email and just suggest any topics that you would like me to cover for wood turning tips and tricks. I have a list that I'm sort of working through, but I'm always adding to the list to make sure that I can help as many people as possible. So, all that said, I hope you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. So, take care, everyone.